Today we are going to do a very interesting poem, The Inchcape Rock. The Inchcape Rock is a ballad written by Robert Southey. This poem tells the story of a 14th century attempt by the Abbot of Arbroath, which Southey spells as Aberbrothok, to install a warning bell on Inchcape, a sandstone reef about 18 kilometers off the east coast of Scotland. It goes on to tell how the bell was removed by a pirate who subsequently perished on the same reef while returning to Scotland in bad weather sometime later. Like many of Southey's ballads, the Inchcape Rock describes a supernatural event, but its basic theme is the moral that those who do bad things will ultimately be punished. Accordingly, and poetic justice will be done. Southey wrote this poem between 1796 and 1798 for the Morning Post. The poem is also included in the third volume of Southey's The Poetical Works of Robert Southey. The setting of the Inchcape Rock is in the part of the Atlantic Ocean that surrounds Scotland. It specifically talks about the sandstone reef known as Inchcape or Bell Rock. The main hazard that the reef presents to shipping is that only a relatively small proportion of it is above water, but a large section of the surrounding area is extremely shallow and dangerous. This poem consists of 17 stanzas. Each of these stanzas is again made up of 4 lines. Hence, the entire poem consists of 68 lines in total. Dear students, I'm now going to explain to you this poem stanza-wise. First, I'm going to read out the first stanza. No stir in the air, no stir in the sea. The ship was still as she could be. Her sails from heaven received no motion. Her keel was steady in the ocean. In this stanza, the poet Robert Southey describes how a ship was standing motionless in the absence of winds as well as sea currents. Her sails were not moving and her keel was fixed in its position. Stanza 2. Without either sign or sound of their shock, the waves flowed over the Inchcape Rock. So little they rose, so little they fell, they did not move the Inchcape bell. In this stanza, the poet describes how waves were flowing over the Inchcape Rock silently. They were moving at such a slow pace that they could not even manage to ring the bell that had been installed there to signal the presence of the reef. Stanza 3. The abbot of Aberbrothock had placed that bell on the Inchcape rock. On a buoy in the storm it floated and swung, and over the waves its warning rung. In this stanza, the poet reveals that it was a monk, the abbot of Aberbrothock, who had installed the bell at Inchcape on a buoy. In a storm, this buoy would move violently, causing the bell to ring as a warning to all sailors. Stanza 4. When the rock was hid by the surge's swell, the mariners heard the warning bell, and then they knew the perilous rock and blessed the abbot of Aberbrothock. In this stanza, the poet says that when Inchcape rock was under water, sailors could hear the bell and know of the rock's position in the sea so as to avoid colliding with it, and for this they hoped that God would reward the abbot of Aberbrothock. Stanza 5. The sun in heaven was shining gay. All things were joyful on that day. The seabirds screamed as they wheeled round, and there was joyance in their sound. In this stanza, the poet describes one particular day when the sun was shining brightly and the seabirds were screaming in joy. The sixth stanza. The buoy of the Inchcape bell was seen, a darker speck on the ocean green. Sir Ralph the Rover walked his deck, and he fixed his eye on the darker speck. In this stanza, the buoy on which the Inchcape bell had been installed is visible as a dark spot amidst the green color of the surrounding water. This speck is then noticed by Sir Ralph as he was walking. Stanza 7. He felt the cheering power of spring. It made him whistle, it made him sing. His heart was mirthful to excess, but the rover's mirth was wickedness. In this stanza, Sir Ralph the Rover whistles and sings as the thought of spring cheered him up. However, his joy comes from wickedness. Stanza 8. His eye was on the Inchcape float. Quoth he, my men, put out the boat and row me to the Inchcape rock, and I will plague the abbot of Aberbrothock. In this stanza, Sir Ralph tells his crew to sail him to the Inchcape rock so that he may cause trouble for the abbot of Aberbrothock. Ninth stanza. The boat is lowered, the boatmen row, and To the Inchcape rock they go. Sir Ralph bent over from the boat, and he cut the bell from the Inchcape float. In this stanza, his crew sailed Sir Ralph the rover to the Inchcape rock, and he cut the bell from the buoy over there. Dear students, we will continue with this poem in the next class. Thank you.